An executive order showdown. Governor Newsom calls out President Trump for unloading a massive financial burden on the state for jobless benefits because Congress can't make a deal. Well, this comes as the U.S. tops 5 million COVID-19 cases, reaching 25% of the world's cases when the U.S. only has 4% of the world's population.
KCAL9's Tom Wade is live in the newsroom with the latest on the brewing battle over unemployment. Tom?
Yep, that's what it is, Juan and Pat. As of tonight, congressional leaders and the White House are not at the table. Now President Trump is trying to use executive orders to force states to shell out millions to pay for unemployment, but Governor Newsom is saying not so fast. President Trump today doubling down on his executive orders that he signed over the weekend, saddling states with paying huge sums of unemployment claims that were being handled by the federal government.
Have all the governors sign on to this?
We just had a meeting with the governors, and they were very anxious to get money for the people in their states. And if they, depending on the state, we have the right to do what we want to do. We can terminate the 25%, or we don't have to do that. So we'll see what it is. Depends on the individual state.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says the president is unloading a financial burden so large that not even California can handle it.
The state does not have an identified resource of $700 million per week that we haven't already obliged. There is no money sitting in the piggy bank of the previous CARES Act to be reprioritized or reconstituted for this purpose.
Newsom says if the state is forced to take on these extra costs, expect massive cuts across the board.
If the state of California was to absorb those costs, you're looking at $2.8 billion every week of state resources that we would have to find, programs we'd otherwise have to cut, or revenue we would have to generate.
President Trump issued the executive orders after weeks of negotiations broke down between congressional Democrats and Republicans over extending jobless benefits. Right now, unemployed Americans are no longer getting a federal bonus check of $600 a week on top of their state unemployment. Democrats passed a bill in the House back in May to extend benefits, but Republicans say its $3 trillion price tag is too costly. But the GOP still has not introduced a bill of their own. Both sides continue to blame the other for the stalled talks on a deal.
Democrats said, our way or the highway.
Rather than compromise, Republican counterparts said take a hike.
According to the 4 executive orders signed by the president, payroll taxes would be postponed through the end of the year for workers making less than $100,000, but they'll owe the money later unless Congress acts. The president says he will prevent evictions, but has only directed federal agencies to consider whether halting evictions is necessary. And on extending federal unemployment benefits, they would be cut from $600 to $400 a week, and 25% of those funds would have to come from cash-strapped states. Nebraska Republican Ben Sasse called the president's executive orders unconstitutional slop, and even President Trump acknowledged legal challenges are likely. And even Trump himself was once a critic of executive orders. Before becoming president, he repeatedly lashed out at President Obama for using them.
The country wasn't based on executive orders. Right now, Obama goes around signing executive orders. It's a basic disaster. You can't do it.
In theory, you're supposed to, the old-fashioned way, get everybody into a room and get something that people agree on.
So unless both sides come back to the table and make a deal, the states will have to contend with these costly executive orders.
Have you spoken to any Democrats since Friday, or they reached out to you at all about restarting negotiations?
I've spoken to several Democrats. I have not spoken to Schumer and Pelosi since then.
Do you expect, would you reach out at all to them to try and
Yeah, I said anytime they want to meet and they're willing to negotiate and have a new proposal, we're more than happy to meet.
Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin also conceded there that even with the executive order signed over the weekend, federal checks will not be delivered this week. Today at the press conference, he said maybe in a week or two. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Tom Wade. Juan, back to you.
Yeah, we'll see, Tom. Thank you.